is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by Profab Headers and Exhaust, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, SRI Performance, and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. What is up, guys? I am, how do you do it on them other shows? I'm driver of the number 13 Legend car and Charger car for Lucky 13 Motorsports, David Rogers. Your turn.
I drive the same cars for a different team. I'm Connor.
And he was super spotter this week.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Racing. Had a busy weekend there for us.
We had a hot weekend.
We did. It was brutal. I don't know what it was. It just felt hotter than the usual summertime day.
I think it's just that. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, we racing hotter than that. I mean, many times, but I think it was just being that first really hot, humid day.
Even 8 o'clock when we were standing around there after, it didn't really ever cool down.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. We took the longest I have ever taken in my life to get out the track.
Really?
The other night. Yes, because...
Like out of the racetrack?
To load up and all that. It's just me and my dad was both whooped. I ain't gonna lie. We were slow loading up. Us and Chad were the last ones there.
Yeah.
We were loading cars in. I was like, man, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I was just wore out. It was a long day. Long, hot day. But pretty good day nonetheless. So cool. So, what you been up to since it's summertime, out of school, all that fun stuff?
Helping my man Josh out with his little business, working in the mornings and just doing whatever.
Y'all got a good schedule. I know you got to get up early, but you got the good schedule.
Oh, I agree. But it's tough to get up early, but when it starts, I'm glad when we're done at 11 o'clock because it starts getting hot.
That's right.
I just don't want to be out there. But
I'd take it. Take it.
I don't complain. It is.
Oh, I imagine you don't.
Yeah, it is good. Good little deal got going, and so yeah, I mean we're done by lunchtime and got the rest of the day to do whatever.
I know you've been working for a few years, but welcome to postgraduate life, there, Connor. It's fun, ain't it?
So far.
Oh, good deal, man. Good deal. So we just talked about it a little bit. We decided to go racing this past weekend at Dillon Motor Speedway. No, it wasn't on last week. Took a week off. Actually, we were going to come on here, and then Connor texted me and said you couldn't make it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I really got stuff I need to do too, because what happened actually, Landon was going, and it was funny because you said you were doing some stuff with the youth group at church. Landon was leaving to go on a youth trip to Montana. We had to have him at the youth pastor's house at 1:30 Tuesday morning, Monday night. So I was like, I need to go home and get a little bit of sleep anyway, so I can go take him. And so me and Kayla, that's what I did. I went home, got me a little nap, woke back up at 12:45 and took him, and me and Kayla took him over there, and it was probably 2:30 by the time I got back in bed. Then had to be up at 6 o'clock. So that was fun. So that's why I wasn't on here last week. And it may have probably a couple more times during the summer. Who knows? But so he is in Montana right now. He'll be back tomorrow night, Tuesday night. I'm probably going to have to do the same thing again. They said it'd probably be after 12 before he gets back. So
flying in, and
they're flying into Charlotte, and then church bus is bringing them back. Oh, okay. So it's not too awful. But they sent some pictures from up there, and they are. I'll tell you something really funny. We're talking about how hot it is down here. They had a winter weather warning up there today. They were calling for possible 3 inches of snow. I don't know if they got it because I looked up there and it didn't look like it snowed, but it was supposed to rain,
crazy
sleet, ice. Yeah, supposed to get down into mid-30s.
Wow, I thought even they had warmed up a little bit by now.
Well, that's the funny part is because I looked through the week and it was like where they're at there in Missoula, Montana, and which is not a couple hours from the Canadian border. Well, they ended up going to Glacier National Park. But they went to the north side of it, which is right at the Canadian border. And there were some videos and stuff. They jumped in some of them glacier lakes and
man.
stuff like that. And I was like, them things can't be warm. So I just kind of looked them up to see. Nah, they don't ever get over 50 degrees.
Dang, I don't have no desire to.
Me neither.
jump in one of those.
Me neither. But there is some hot springs around
Yeah.
there. So I guess they're probably searching for something. I don't know. I had to hear all about it because they told them wasn't much cell phone usage on this trip. So I hadn't heard from him too much. So it's probably a pretty cool trip though.
Yeah.
I'd
I
love
want
to
to
go out
there
there.
too. Yeah, I've had a couple people I know say it's a pretty cool vacation spot and all.
I bet it is.
I'd rather go there than somewhere, real touristy.
Oh yeah,
Stuff like
for
that.
sure. It's so hard. Yeah, it's just so far away. All the good stuff so far away.
Mhm.
We're going on vacation here in a few weeks. July 4th week, we're actually going. I'm going with Kayla's family. We're going up to it's called Dandridge, Tennessee. Just about 30 minutes this side of Pigeon Forge, which is very touristy. But we're staying on a lake up there, so
Sweet.
we'll get a couple pontoon boats and hang out. So be better than nothing. But you got big plans for over the summer?
Not much right now.
Not much.
Not
Get
that
some
I
race
know.
cars together?
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
Cool. So, I reckon we'll go into it. We had some, like I said, we went racing this past weekend at Dillon Motor Speedway. It was hot. Boy, it was hot. It was hot early.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, or I don't know, we didn't have a rear end for the car, and Mr. Tony Hancock messaged me Thursday afternoon, said it was ready. So my dad had to run to his place Friday morning, pick up the rear end. He'd come back and put the whole thing in. Actually, by the time I got home, it was already in. And so we decided to race. Oh, also Friday night, I had already had this plan a couple weeks back. Sterling's little boy, his birthday is Cole. His birthday is the 19th. So we went to a Myrtle Beach Pelicans game Friday night.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So anyway, got all loaded up and everything early Saturday morning, and then headed to the track. And decided to run both classes, Legends and Charger or Challenger. Boy, I almost regretted that. It was good, but boy, it was hot. It was a lot back and forth. Only reason it was that much, and you know this, there was no class that my races were back to back.
Oh yeah.
Well, and it wasn't so bad of a race because they did put the intermission with the kids' rides and stuff like that into race time. But during the heat of the day, during practice, it was just back to back. So that was tough. No, you've done it a lot.
Yeah, I've
you're
done
more
it
conditioned than I am,
several
Connor.
I hate doing it during the summer too, or if I do, I'll like you did, one practice with a legend car and then won't mess with that for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But it can be tough, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, you decided to go race too?
Yeah, I found out I was racing Friday evening. My man Matt texted me and told me, I didn't think he was going to be there this week. He said he was. So he asked me if I wanted to throw in the trailer. I said, yeah, let's go. And we had a pretty good car for most of the, I was pretty pleased with it. It was a pretty fast car for most of the day there.
I was fixing to say y'all were fast in practice. I wasn't all that great in practice, but we ended up throwing a couple tires on it, and I actually got Matt to go scuffing for me the second round because he wasn't going out, and we were trying to thrash on the other car, trying to get some stuff done on it. So I asked Matt, I said, can you jump in mine and just go scuff them tires just a little bit before qualifying? He went and done that for me, thankfully. And I come in, I really didn't think I had, no outstanding run by no means, but they called me over to the tech line. I was like, okay. And Mr. Dennis was already up there, and about the time they told Dennis he could go, and I was like, oh, I out-qualified him because he was fast all day, or earlier in the day.
The track was slow though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Man, it's
the
crazy.
track slowed way down. It was slick, or to me it was. It just felt real greasy feeling. But anyway, I ended up qualifying 5th. You were
I was third.
Matt was
I got
second.
second.
Second, yeah. I felt like we all had pretty good rides there, surprisingly. Well, then I jumped out of that car, ran over there, jumped in the Charger car, and I think I was like one of the last cars to go out. And I come in, and they put me in the tech line again. I was like, hey, how about that? I ended up qualifying 3rd in the Charger. Connor wasn't there, so let me run. let me
you
be
take my third place.
Let you take your third place. I was kidding.
Way too many times.
So I don't know. So what'd you feel about the 5 car?
Yeah. It definitely drives different than mine. I guess, I got used to driving the yellow car for so long, but I think we're fine. I think we're getting it dialed in. I was a little tight all day. We kept adjusting on it, and I think it raced good. Because first, unfortunately, only got to make a couple laps in the race, but when it did feel pretty good. And so, I got a pretty good qualifying lap off there. What to say? I mean, it was decent. I was pretty happy with it, but unfortunately, we broke a drive shaft right there. 5 laps in, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I was talking
2 or 3 laps in.
I talked to Matt. Well, you were right up under me, and because I thought you were about to go because, we were kind of all shuffling back and forth, and you were under me. And by the time I saw you kind of in my mirror right there, and all of a sudden my spotter said cleared, I was like, where'd Connor go?
Yeah,
So,
I had to back off further going in. I kind of felt like I felt a little something weird. So on the second or the first restart, I guess.
Okay.
But we took the green and came around 1 and 2 and got the caution flag again right away. So I was kind of, wasn't really long enough to tell much. And then next restart, we took the green and really bad vibration down the back straightaway, and it broke before I got to 3. I wasn't gonna make another lap like that, but it broke before I really had a chance. Thankfully, I backed off early going into 3. Thankfully, I had enough speed still where I wasn't in the way. I was afraid of getting run over, really, but they would pull down to the inside and get out the way. But I hated it because it really felt like we had a pretty good car.
That stinks because, there was a lot of people talking about,
And even so,
the way
felt like it would have been fun to have me, you, and Matt up there racing for the lead there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I wasn't meant to be, I guess.
It's coming. I did talk to Matt, and he was out there messing with it some yesterday, and they're thinking now maybe something in the rear end actually broke, which caused it to possibly lock real quick and then break the bolts in the.
Yeah, it was definitely a strange deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I've never seen one do that. Mm-hmm. Not like that. Did it scare you? Did it scare you any when it started beating on that tunnel?
Not really. I've had a couple stuff break on a legend car before with me, so I guess I'm used to it.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Oh, yeah, I've had a rear end dance around on me.
Yeah, that
before.
is right. I forgot you did that.
But it just definitely, I thought something in the rear end broke. It makes sense now, the drive shaft, because it was a lot of noise, hanging off the ground there. But, just got to work the gremlins out, and I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, he that was the car that used to be sitting right back here. And Matt got it and he's rebuilt a lot in it, put a FZ09 motor in it, new motor in it. I think the motor's strong.
Oh, I think so too.
For sure.
Yeah, I could stay on the bottom and still have a pretty good run.
So I don't know. I think it'll be a good car. I think that'll thing be fast eventually. Get all that little stuff worked out and crazy things quit happening.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyway, going on into that race, I started 5th, and we'd ran 2 laps, I think is what we said.
You got up to 4th there pretty quick.
Yeah, I got up to 4th. Yeah, I think it was 4th. And then we restarted again, and I guess you were on the inside, and that's when you had your trouble. So that kind of put me in 3rd, I reckon it was. Then I think we had another caution, and I was in 3rd, so I started on the inside. We get a choose cone at Dillon. Matt chose to take the leader took the inside. Matt chose to take outside. I took inside, kind of just standard stuff. This time we took off, and unfortunately, whatever happened, I don't know. Matt didn't really get going on the outside, and I got in second. And me and the leader were racing pretty hard there for quite a while. And I could get up under him. I was loose. I couldn't really get a good drive off the corner. I think if I ever could have got around him, I'd have been great. But then Matt actually come back, and I saw him coming, and he had a good run coming. So he got around me, and he got up there to the leader and got under him, and they touched a little bit but kept on going, and he passed him. Well, made it turn 3 and caution comes out, so he didn't get to stay in the lead. I think if he would have got to stay in the lead right there, he'd have been set. But I got up beside him and I tried to tell him. I mean, we can't tell each other, really stuff from the car too much. I tried to tell him to take the inside. I was like, stay behind him and just take the inside, because he wasn't getting a good jump on the outside for whatever reason. But he didn't understand what I was saying. So he took the outside again. Kind of same scenario played again. I got in second. But then what happened, which was really funny and kind of stunk, but I mean, it is what it is. We got to racing, and the leader kind of went down there. I stuck a nose under him. Well, went to stick nose under him, and he chopped me off going into one. And it wasn't so much that he chopped me off. He didn't brake check me. I mean, like, really bad. Like, where we would have typically been off the brakes, he just slammed on brakes. So I run in the back of him. Well, Matt comes in there. He was ready to follow me. And he runs in the back of me and knocks us both up the hill. Fortunately, we got going. He got going a little quicker than I could gather it back up. And he was under me. And so I went from second to fourth at that point. Just racing deal. Wasn't no big deal. But so I ended up finishing fourth there. Matt finished second, so that was a good finish for him. His best finish yet. Congratulations to him. I really think, I wish he could have gotten the lead, because he had the fastest car for sure.
He just set sail.
I did get squeezed into the wall. 4-car kind of squeezed me up into the wall down straightaway, and I don't really know why he did that. Me and him may have to have a little talk about it, because I don't know. And I know me and you've raced. The other week we raced beside each other for 4 laps, and never touch each other. And you're having brake issues, but especially going down the straightaway, there's no sense not to give somebody a little bit of room. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a different style of racing with some of these people coming up for sure. But what I want to say about Legends real fast. We never really said it on here, what we've thought about some things that were happening in the Legends. But we were getting, no lie, there were certain races, certain cars come up and, just really hand our tails to us. Just outrun everybody by a ridiculous amount. And we've all had our thoughts, and we've been told certain things. If anybody been around the racetrack, and especially in the infield, you know how these things go around. But some of them really made sense of what was going on. INEX come out with a rule Friday. And I kind of thought this was already a rule, or maybe they just reiterated this or something. I don't know. But they put on there, put out that if your throttle body or ECU had been tampered with at all, had showed any signs, or they could open it and find out that it had been tampered with, then you would be suspended from any INEX sanctioned event for 12 months.
That's it. That was the most surprising part to me, was the 12 months. That's
me too.
They ain't playing.
And I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad. Well, there's quite a few shops that I follow on Facebook and other things. Well, apparently in a day's time, there's not a throttle body or ECU to be found in the United States. everybody
had to buy new ones.
Everybody had to buy new ones. So, what's that to you?
Oh, it's not surprising. There were several times, and I wouldn't say we're all just local teams, but I feel like we had Dillon figured out.
Oh yeah,
pretty good. I mean, I'm not saying people couldn't come in and outrun us. Definitely happened, but there were some times where I couldn't tell how they were so much faster.
Right,
watching them go through the corner.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Nothing stood out to me for them to be as fast as they were. I mean, faster than us by a tenth. Yeah, I mean that's understandable how much people spend to some of them. But some of them definitely just looked a little.
Well, there was one that came
fast.
in one day and he was 4/10 faster than second place.
Yeah,
and I don't see that.
Uh-huh.
I don't see that. So I'm hoping that they've kind of got that under control, I reckon, and hopefully it's going to be looked at actually and taken seriously, because that's what I said. I said, boy, it's amazing what happens when you get out here and race legal cars against legal cars, And I definitely will give it to Dillon Motor Speedway, since they have become INEX sanctioned this year. We've pretty much had to, cars have been in tech pretty much every week over there to some extent, or the other. So I'm glad to see that, and hopefully, because I mean my thing is a lot of times, a lot of weeks, I'm one of the older guys out there running a legend car myself. I know a lot of them, these setup shops or, whatever we want to call them, driver development teams, whatever we want to call them. That's supposed to be what that's used for, is actual driver development. But if you're... Basically what they're saying is, but from what I gather, they're boring out throttle bodies, get more air in, make it faster. ECUs, what we gather, is they're somehow putting traction control in the ECU, is what's being said. If you're putting traction control on a legend car, what are you really developing in a driver? You're not teaching them anything. Yeah. So, I don't know. I get, some of these big teams out there, mamas and daddies are paying them literally thousands of dollars a week for their child to drive this car for a class that at most tracks wins $150 to $200 if you win.
And I get it. You're not going to make money racing locally.
No, you're
almost
not.
Any class, but not.
You're not going to make money racing legend cars.
No.
Period.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it's ridiculous, how much tires cost and everything else.
Yeah.
How much people pay to... Because, I mean, it just makes it, I don't know. I understand it from a point. I mean, if I didn't have a history of family racing and we didn't already have all the parts and tools, it'd be hard to get into. I get that part of it, so that's why I'm kind of torn. It is good to have a way for some people who maybe don't want to buy all the stuff yet, just kind of try it out. But I think it's gone too far the other way.
Well, I mean, just like we had Dom Strauss on here. His family didn't have a history in racing. He was on iRacing, and he was great on iRacing, and still is great on iRacing. But that paved the way. It's like, okay, there are shops out there I can go to, if I can get sponsors, if I can get this, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that, because that's essentially what NASCAR is now. Pretty much, if you can write the check for it, here's your ride. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, actually develop the drivers.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's too much for legends. I don't know. I feel like that was kind of the point of legends, is for people who weren't into racing, as a gateway to get into it.
Yep.
Yeah, but
it was supposed to be a cheap class.
Me and Dad were talking about it. I bet you, watching the summer shootout, I bet you, there's probably more rented rides in the field than there are people who have their own car.
Oh, I promise you there are.
I
promise you.
Yeah.
Promise you.
I don't know.
I don't get that.
It makes you not wanting to mess with it almost, just because, I don't know. Like I said, I can see it in some scenarios where it's good, obviously. Gets people who wouldn't be able to drive race cars otherwise into it, but...
Well, it's just...
I don't think it should be in a Legends series.
I can understand that. There's some guys, and sorry, I cannot remember his name right now, but there's a guy up in Anderson. He rents a car to a guy, but it's like, they run it out of the little shop.
Mm-hmm.
I think he told me he charged him like $400 to come race his car.
Yeah,
pretty much what it's going to cost, and he's going to have a set of tires on there, a good set of tires on when he goes. So I mean, it's not like he's running junk, but I can understand that. I
don't mind that you have an extra car to rent out, but
right,
3 or 4 full-time employees working only on legend cars.
At least, yes.
You just like what?
And I mean, we all know. I mean, everybody knows it in the legend world. Joe Ryan race cars or Joe Ryan Racing, whatever it is. I don't know how many full-time employees he's got. I mean, that dude looks like a NASCAR race shop full of legend cars. And I think they got even some late models and stuff stuck in there now.
Really?
Yeah.
Messing with that?
I think.
Well,
I don't know, but I think
sense.
Kevin Harvick's stuff is up there, which would make sense. Being Keelan drives one of the legend cars. So, I mean, that is a NASCAR operation with NASCAR-backed money running legends.
And when they show up,
Well, they went to Dominion this past weekend. They kind of, wherever the Cars Tour is going, and I get it. If they run legends at that track, which most of them do, or they make a one special show for it, that's where Joe Ryan and them have been going, and they have literally just killed everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
All year. And I'm going to tell you, if you, and I think a lot of people know this, but if you run a legend car by the rule book, just by the rule book, there ain't but so much you can do to it. You're not, the way it's supposed to be like almost like a spec class, essentially. Motors we can't touch. We're not supposed to touch anyway. You got a very tight window of heights and widths and lengths on everything. So, playing inside those rules, in my opinion, even in tires, you're not going to get a car but so good. So that's where it's always confused me when you see some of these rides come out there, like we've said, and just smoke the field. So anyway, I'm glad iNext is doing something. I just hope, as I do with any other track, that it's, they stick by it and stand by it and enforce it, because I get everybody wants to push the rules. I don't have a problem if somebody goes out there and, your car is 1/8 of an inch too wide. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's easily happened. Whatever. He's pushing the rules. But it is a rule. I get it. But I'm not mad at you for it. You go out there and you running traction control, that's just a slap in the face to everybody you're running with. I mean, so I don't know. But anyway, so glad something's coming about it. But so back to Dillon. Was happy to finish 4th in Legends. Happy to be able to be up there fighting for the lead, actually. It was a good race up front. I wish Connor had been up there with us. I think.
Yeah. It's fun when we're all up there running for the win.
Oh,
it's fun running for 6th, but when you up there top 5 duking it out, just makes it a little more exciting.
It does. I'm just going to have to throw it out there. That was my second win of the year, though, for the Low Country Legends series.
I think in the points races, I've DNF'd more than I have.
That's what happened. You started running that, and all of a sudden you can't finish a race. So, and the last one wasn't a points race.
Yeah,
you finished it.
I didn't even know I thought it was a points race, which I didn't finish graded it anyway, but yeah, I've lost hope on that.
I'm trying. I'm making my comeback.
I'm gonna have to do
I missed a race that everybody else went to. So
I'm gonna have to lobby for the NASCAR system when you're in.
There we go.
Hope I get lucky.
That's what we need. We need a playoff system. I think.
It'd be cool.
At least
something like this. I know.
I think top 3 or
I
something.
think it's gimmicky in NASCAR, but I think it'd be fun to do with us.
You got to win in Florence in it, didn't you? Though.
In what?
In the points stuff.
Yeah, I did win Florence.
You
but
win the point.
I think I crashed out of one and broke out of one, and had brake problems and not finished good in the other one, and so
it has not been Connor's lucky year by no means.
And when I crashed, I missed 2 or 3 already. So yeah, I'm hoping for a playoff waiver and I can get a win and sneak into
Well,
the
if you want to prioritize that other, so after that, went on to the Challenger race. I got to throw one thing out there. This was the best thing in the whole night. They had this weekend was the I don't remember exactly what they called it, but it was the Shriners race is what we pretty much knew it as. The Shriners kind of sponsored the race, and track did some special things for some kids out there, and just really cool stuff. They really, the Shriners were around there all day doing a 50-50 drawing. I think they raised like, I don't know, about $400 or so. Which, pretty good for especially as hot a day it was over there. Really cool stuff. At the intermission, which was between the Legends and Challenger race, they were going to have one car out there, which is a car owned by Mr. Dennis Brown there, which was actually an old DEI car that Dale Jr. raced, probably I don't know which car it was, but I would figure probably a road course car or something like that. But it had been converted to a 2-seater car. Well, they also had the vintage class out there. Well, some of the vintage cars, I think there was 3 vintage cars that they have a passenger seat in, and they for this particular reason. Well, they decided, the other week we did kids riding race cars stuff, and we just kind of eased around there for the most part. Well, this week, and I thought that's what they were going to do again. Nah, they suited these kids up, put helmets on them.
I think these were adults.
Or were they adults?
I think so. I don't think they let the kids get into these.
Okay. Well, whoever it was, they were out there racing almost.
Yeah, I would have gotten into a race car.
Not like that. Because the second lap on the first one, Rafe Judd, our buddy Rafe Judd, was driving the Ride of Your Life car, the number 8. And from what I gather, I didn't see it. I
see it come back around. I was like, I was hoping it broke.
I think he spun it out coming out of 2. I'm gonna have to find out for sure from him. I meant to ask him. Boy, could you imagine what sitting in that passenger seat was like?
I can imagine being the next guy to get in it.
Like, nah, I'm done. I'm done. Right there, done. And they were going at it pretty hard. So he got back out there, and they rode them. And it turned out great. So that was cool. So the Challenger race, I was able to start 3rd in, as we talked about. And I had my super spotter up there, Connor.
Trying to help you dodge lap cars.
Thank you.
Couldn't do much. They didn't know where they was going, neither did I.
Woo, it was there was a couple of hairy moments there.
For sure.
I want to know, because I didn't get to see it, and I hate it. I love being out there. Trust me, I want to be out there every one of them, but I hate when I miss a good race. Mm-hmm. How good was the race for the lead up there?
It was good. I mean, Mr. Greg Peterson was pretty much hounding him for 30 laps or more, and there's a couple times he'd get a look to the inside, to be on his inside, and they catch a lap car. I mean, that probably happened 2 or 3 times, and but you knew he had an awesome car. I mean, he was looking really good there, and with about 6 to go, he finally, I think Will Rick was kind of, tires maybe wearing a little bit, and he slipped a little bit, and Greg was there, and he got just passed, and it was tight. They made a little contact on the straightaway and all, but he passed him about 6 to go there, and then he just held him off there. He was fast. I mean, it was a really good race for the lead, because they raced for the lead the whole 40 laps pretty much.
I figured they did.
Yeah, I was kind of watching them, man, watching you.
That's what I'd have been doing.
When you get on straightaway by yourself, I kind of look over to see how the race was going.
I kind of from what Connor was telling me up there, and I told him, I said, based off times, I said, I got a feeling the top 2 are going to run off for a little ways, as we figured they would. I said, but I should be able to settle in kind of in third by the times. I said, if everything goes right and kind of settle in there and ride, which was a good thing because I didn't hardly have brakes.
Yeah.
Something going on with them, regardless. And I'm going to be calling our good friends from SRI Performance this week to fix it up for me. But I had brakes, but they were super, super spongy. I mean, like, pedal was going through the floor. I could pump it a couple times and get some pedal. So that's what I tried to do most of the race, but try to stay consistent lap time wise. What I could. Some of them lap cars got a little hairy though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was one time I remember that I caught him coming out of 4.
Yeah. I think I know what
and he was kind of up the track a little bit. So I was like, all right, I'm going low. Well, all of a sudden he decided he was going to let me pass on the high side, even though I was already low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whew. I was like, okay. So I had to slam on brakes and what brakes I had. If he'd only know how little brakes I had, he wouldn't have done that. I don't know.
Well, the leaders a couple times it was kind of it was cool, but it was sketchy. They would be racing hard. I mean, he's on his bumper the whole time, and they would come out of 2 and they split one go one way, one go the other way, come back and still be side by side. So it was
good racing.
Yeah, it was
scary,
intense. Yeah.
How do we fix that though? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
There's some cars that are severely off the pace unless you just make them run street stock. Well, didn't they used
they're
to
going to be off the pace in street stop.
I know, but at least I don't know.
At least they're not in our class. No, I ain't trying to talk junk about anybody by no means. I'm really not, because I want everybody out there racing.
I
for
agree.
sure.
I agree. I mean, you need the last place man for the field as much as you do.
Oh yes,
winner,
for sure. And you got to. I mean, you got to get better somehow.
Like 100% roll. It was something percent where if you were so far off the whole time, you had to drop down. I don't know if we need to bring that back or what. I don't know. It's just weird. There's just 2 or 3 cars that are.
I agree.
And it's kind of sketchy. I'd say for some of the big races in the East End, it maybe enacted a little bit because the closing rate is pretty. When there's only 5 or 6, fast cars, it's not as bad because you kind of can get spread out and dodge them. But just watching them race, it's kind of sketchy.
Well,
you just don't want anybody to get run over.
That's what I'm saying. Is I'm just glad nobody is. It hadn't caused an accident.
Yeah.
And I hope it never does. And I think everybody in the class is a good enough driver, but man, you hate for it to. I don't think it necessarily affected the outcome of the race.
No, but it indirectly did. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple times where it was looking like Greg was going to get the lead, but he caught a lap car and had to back out of it. And
we're not talking about a lap car being, a few tenths off,
getting lapped several times.
Yeah, I mean, they're being, and like I said, God bless them, and we need them all out there, and I want them to all get better and want them to cut as many laps and get faster and faster. But we got some that are out there that are 3 seconds, 4 seconds, I think. Yeah, well, almost 4 seconds off the pace, and that's just straightaway speed. That's a huge closing rate. If something happens, it happens fast. You just don't want nobody to get hurt. I mean, that's the biggest thing. So I don't know, but yeah, Connor guided me all through it, and we were able to bring it home third. And good Lord, we had the biggest front stretch.
I'd say I didn't know they were doing the whole ceremony.
I know. I was kind of up there, and I was like, "Are we going? No, we're not going. We're still sitting there." Okay. So we sat on the front stretch for a long time after that race, which was pretty cool. I should have finished 4th though. 4th place man. They had a drawing. The winner had to go up there. Greg Peterson, our buddy, driving our buddy Chad Webster's car, won the race. Congratulations to him. I was glad to see it for sure. I think he had to draw the number and the Shriners were giving away $1,000 to whatever number he pulled, and that was the finisher in the race. So it could have been the last place car or 8th place or whatever. He drew number 4. I finished 3rd. I was like, dang, one off. So that was, I mean, it's cool. Then we had a little thing. The Shriners gave us top 3 trophies and got my participation award. Nah, it was really cool. That's something we sit in a new set over there, But I was just glad to finish the race. I mean, finish the last one. But nothing crazy happened. We didn't have no big wrecks.
Nope.
Nothing.
Everybody made it through.
Everybody made it through, and I appreciate you spotting for me, for sure. I'll be more glad if you're out on track with us.
Yeah, hopefully we'll soon. Hopefully so.
So what about your Charger car? What's the status on it right now?
We don't know. We're probably gonna put the motor in the other car because we think it's we kind of want to get the other car running and just see what it'll do some, and hopefully we should have another motor coming sometime. We need that, and that would be good if we could get that, or if not, look elsewhere to find some motor for it. But I don't know. We're kind of playing it by ear right now. We know Florence is racing Chargers this week. We'll just kind of see where we're at.
I got you.
Coming up for next race.
I got you. I think Florence is racing. They're racing 2 weeks in a row now. We're flip flopping on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple weeks off before we go back to Dillon. Florence isn't running Legends at all. So while the summer shootout's going on, they don't run Legends. So
we're out of luck this week.
We're out of luck this week. But I'm actually going, and I think I said it on here before, we're going to just run our Charger this year, at least, at Dillon. Just kind of more for the driver to get more feel of it. And, the rules are enough different that it creates a little bit of good bit of work for you in the week to switch car over from one track to the other. I don't know. We'll see. But I think we headed in the right direction, but we're still getting some kinks worked out in ours. It's like this week, like I said, I don't know if it's it, but my brakes were not working right, so I think we got a little issue there, but we'll have that fixed up. So I think that's what I'm going to use this year as over at Dillon to kind of get all the kinks worked out of it, and we'll see. But we'll Florence, like Connor just said, Florence will be back racing this Saturday coming up, which is the 22nd, whatever it is. I don't know. But and then they'll also run the following weekend, the 29th. And then we'll be back at Dillon Motor Speedway on July the 6th, right after Independence Day,
probably
July 4th.
Two back-to-back firework shows.
Yes.
I had to guess there.
Oh, yes, for sure. So I'll probably be getting back from vacation just to go race,
Good deal.
So that's cool. But I want to thank all of our help on here real quick before we go any farther. SRI Performance, like I said, I'm probably going to be calling them, getting with them here real soon, getting things I need for mine. So y'all do the same thing. Anything you need, I know it's kind of mid-season a lot of these places. And there's stuff just getting wore out on them race cars already. It happens. So head over to SRI Performance, and they'll hook you up for sure. Get online, www.sriperformance.com. Put in all what you need, all that good stuff. Load that card up. Put in promo code CBONE10. That's C as in
chicken.
BONE 10. And get yourself 10% off there at time of checkout. Also, same thing, guys, over at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Anybody need to make some of these race cars pretty, make sure you go over there and check them out. Or if you need them to make them, more structurally sound, every once in a while you need to do whatever you got to do, rebuilding stuff. I know our buddy Matt Winkler, who spotted for me in the Legend car race, he said might have to be using Stock Car Steel and Aluminum because he's got to put a rear clip on his car. So might have to call him and get some materials to build it. So y'all head over to Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, get all the materials you need for your project. No, it don't even have to be a race car. Be whatever you need. Anything, any kind of, like obviously steel and aluminum, but also plastics and any other kind of specialty materials you can think of. Also, Earl Ramey Racing Engines got a now a 2-race old bullet in mine. And I'm going to tell you, I know that's just how it happens, but second race out, it actually seemed a little peppier.
Really?
Even.
Good
yeah,
deal.
it did. So I am very happy with it myself. So y'all head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines, pick yourself up some power today, or get it ordered, get whatever kind of, I don't care what kind of application you got. If you need a crate, 602 crate, 604 crate. That's kind of one of the big things going for Earl Ramey Racing Engines. He has a great crate program. So head over there, get whatever you need. If you need like mine, we got a late model stock motor in mine, built motor. He fixed it right up. Got it going. Anything you got, guys, send it over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines. When you get it done, get some time on that chassis dyno that he's got, and you can tell what all you need. One of the best things you're going to put on there, though, is a good old set of Profab headers and exhaust. Good old Profab headers. They are quality that wins. So y'all head over to Profab headers and exhaust and tell them we sent you over there. I got to talk to Andy, actually. I meant to text him today about some stuff. So I'm going to have to talk to our buddy Andrew Garris over there and get some parts rounded up to put on a project. So y'all head over to Profab headers and exhaust. Anything you need, any application. I don't care if you're drag racing. I don't care if you're round track racing, asphalt, dirt, whatever. They got you. So y'all head over there and tell them we sent you. All right. Well, there was some NASCAR action out at Iowa Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
Track that, about last year we kind of thought was almost wrote off.
Yeah.
Finally, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, got a cup date.
Yeah. And I think it's good to go
I
some
do
of these
too.
places, Hey.
I do too. I always liked that track. I know Rusty Wallace was one of the designers of that track when I want to say he was like one of the owners or something. I don't remember. NASCAR owns it now, or was it? I forget. Whatever it is. So big talk going into it was the quote unquote repave job on it.
Yeah.
They
ran out of time. Yeah.
Which I get it.
Well, they said they had the IndyCar race there a little while back and said it was
That's right.
it was getting unusable pretty much.
Well, they said it was so bumpy.
Yeah.
Just so bumpy.
And wore out because Indy cars were down to like running slower than the Xfinity cars did by the end of their
Really?
tire run.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they said it was just, they couldn't race on it. They didn't have confidence to race on it.
Well, Kevin Harvick made the comment last week on his podcast that this was the dumbest thing, one of the dumbest things NASCAR had ever done with the repave job on this track.
Mm-hmm.
I personally kind of think he stuck his foot in his mouth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll get into it a little more. But so that was the talk going into it. Everybody was just like, I don't think it's going to be good. Everybody came from the test. You got to be on a new asphalt. It's going to be, just dominant on that asphalt. You're not going to be able to race. You're not going to be able to. That was kind of the consensus from a lot of them, which I got, and I probably went along with it too. Whatever. Well, did you get to see any of the Xfinity race?
No, I didn't
either. We was at the racetrack. I know Sam Mayer did win it. He kind of, and I will say this also, another thing that happened. I just want to tie this in. Martin Truex Jr. announced his full-time retirement from NASCAR at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
But he did say he was going to be back running select races. And Denny Hamlin already said that, he'd have a car ready for him anytime he wanted to race. So I figured that was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of figured the last couple of years it was coming. Whatever. Well, Sam Mayer kind of made a statement, he was kind of upset about not being in the talks all the time about one that would be moving the Cup. here soon. Even with his win there.
Yeah, I guess he needs to mature a little bit, I think, because he's had some run-ins with some people. I think he's not bad. I think he'll he'll be good. I don't know if he's there yet though. I think there's a couple ahead of him right now.
Man, and I've said this for years, and I know he was there. And I think that's what kind of hurts him. Seeing what Justin Allgaier did in, Kyle Larson's car. I get he didn't run the whole race, but I promise you, the guys he was racing, they were racing to that rain delay because they knew, we might not go back from this. And as good as he ran in it, the dude's a driver. I mean, but he's made a lot of mistakes in the Xfinity stuff, and a lot of times he's not aggressive enough, in my opinion. But I kind of thought it was weird, in my opinion, when Josh Berry went to the Cup Series, but Allgaier was outrunning him a lot of times in the Xfinity Series. So, I don't know. Are we still going for that youth movement in Cup, or are we kind of turned back to some experience?
I think it's kind of balanced out a little bit. I don't know that it's swung one way or the other. It was for a while there. Every Xfinity champion was in the Cup Series the next year,
right?
But yes, I mean there was also a spree of some old drivers retiring. Right now, there's not as many, so. It also just depends on open seats, but yeah, I don't know. It is kind of interesting to see.
Well, we still got charter talks going on, too. That's kind of been another thing. And the word is kind of right now is every team is going to be limited to 3 charters. With the Stewart-Haas, closing down. But they're saying, essentially Gibbs and Hendrick, since they already have 4 of their grandfathered in, not going to have to lose a charter. Whatever. I don't know. So, I feel like there's about to be a lot of dominoes falling in this
it's gonna shift
silly season, per se. Who do you see moving right now from
Xfinity?
I mean, do you think it's coming from Xfinity? Do you think it's coming from trucks? Because a lot of people are saying you're really getting a better experience in trucks right now for the Cup car than you are
I think
in
now,
Xfinity.
Yeah, now I think either one really worked. Whenever they were at the 550 package for Cup, I think the trucks were very good.
Right.
But right now, the Cup car is so different now. I don't know either way, but let's see who's kind of... There's not anybody lighting the world on fire like William Byron did or Eric Jones did, Christopher Bell, Reddick, all those guys, were... I can see Custer getting back into a Cup ride if I don't know.
The money's right.
Yeah. So I think he's good. I don't think he's spectacular. I don't think he's any worse than Priest or any of them that have been driving.
Well, I could name a handful of drivers in Cup I think could swap out rides with somebody myself right now. So
I don't know. There's not anybody really killing it,
The only name I've kind of heard thrown around, and this obviously not Xfinity, I've heard Corey Haim's name.
Yeah, he is pretty good in trucks. He's been winning a lot there.
I've heard a lot of him. They're talking about moving him straight from truck to Cup, which is kind of what happened, I guess, with Zane Smith.
Yeah,
for the most part. Can you say it hadn't worked out for Zane Smith?
I don't know.
I don't know what to expect.
Hocevar is done all right.
Yeah, I think so. Hocevar did it too. That's right. He's probably done the best.
Yeah.
I mean, he's consistently
around
outrunning Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to kind of compare it to his own team, and he's pretty much consistently outrunning his teammates. So, I don't know. But I'm like you, right, though. There's just not a standout right now that I'm just like, this dude's going to be the next thing. I mean, the only one I've looked at, and this is funny to say, I've told people this not long ago, I'm like, kid's wheel man, he's going to be a big name one day, is actually Keelan Harvick. Because I do think he is a wheel man. I mean,
I think him. I think that Jesse Love probably in the next couple of years will probably...
Jesse Love's going to be good.
Yeah.
There's a couple names right now just leaving me. I think Jesse Love. I think Austin Hill has what it takes
to
do it. he's just gonna ruffle some feathers doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's up with him.
I don't really like him. I don't know why. But yeah, I think, I mean, shoot, he wins about every super speedway race. That's a.
He is the.
You say what you're wrong, but those races count just as much. You know?
He is the essential RCR driver, isn't
Yeah.
he? What do you see? I know you've been a big Kyle Busch fan. What do you see Kyle doing? I know I hear he's locked in for next year.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Anybody who wants him got to buy his contract out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish he'd go to 19 or something. I don't know if he's probably burned out bridges on his way out.
That bridge.
I don't know. I'd like to see him somewhere else. I really would, because you just don't know how much longer he's
I'd like
going to go.
see him.
I'd like to see him like Trackhouse or somewhere.
Trackhouse would be a good fit for him, I think. I'd love to see him in the 48 car.
I would too. I don't know if he. I'd like to see him. I don't know if they're going to get rid of Bowman or not.
Hadn't heard much about that.
Yeah.
But that's always a quiet thing over at Hendrick.
I don't know. I just don't know if anybody's going to. I mean, he's obviously, one of the winningest drivers in NASCAR.
He had a good run going on this past week, and
I just don't.
something
Cars
come apart
don't
in the
look
rear.
like they're. Got
He's had your look this year.
Yeah. Yeah. But RCR just hasn't. I don't know. They've kind of gone backwards. They haven't been able to build upon anything, and where they have had speed, they've had bad luck. So I don't know. I'd like to see him go to a team that's already running good.
Yeah.
Instead of having
I think
to try
he
to
could
build
do a lot for Trackhouse, but I don't know that he's the fit for Trackhouse. I could see him possibly going, and this would be a shot, and I don't think it would be more of a lateral move, I think, but I could see where they would want him. I could see him going to Spire.
Yeah. I just hope.
I could see Corey LaJoy out and him in.
I just hate to have to pull for him like that, know.
I know, because, I mean, it's they would get him to improve their program.
Yeah. But I just,
it'd be tough.
At the end of the day, it's going to be Hendrick and Gibbs and, those teams.
Unless a lot of things change. Yeah.
I mean, with the next gen car, a couple of years, you saw a couple of teams.
Well, that's the only thing he hadn't been in as Fords here lately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's been in for. He was technically first signed by Roush.
Yeah. I'd like to see him go back there, but
I don't think him and Brad could get along that good.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's changed.
They both kind of mellowed out on there.
Yeah, they've mellowed out now. So.
But yeah, it's gonna shake out with a new car. Reset it for a year or two, but it always shakes back out like it is now, to where the good teams are the ones that are gonna be winning.
It's happening quick now. I don't know. I know he wants to keep driving. He wants to keep driving until, and he said it, he wants to keep driving until Brexton is like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to share a ride with him in a truck after he's old enough for for a year or so, and then he wants to go back and run for a truck championship.
I don't know if those plans are the same now. He's
I
have
don't
a truck
either.
team. I'm sure whoever would take him. Yeah,
that's what I was fixing to say. Somebody would gladly stick him in a truck, because they know that's a
championship.
That's a championship all day long. I mean, he might have a bad race or two, but that's a championship all day long. I don't know. I've never been that much of a Kyle Busch fan, but I've been a fan of his talent personally. And I personally hate seeing him driving like this right now. I mean, knowing how good a driver he is, and it's just like, man, this stinks. But, dude, I'm telling you, we'll get into the race here in a minute as far as Cup side. I get a lot of people are saying this week was probably one of the best quote-unquote short track races. To me, this isn't much of a short track, but whatever. I get that. I still hate this car. Still hate it.
Yeah.
I was listening to them, even though they were making some passes this week. The shifting, I mean, just I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just
not a good short track. And
it's not
really not even that great of a road course car.
No. Well, the problem is it's really good. Yeah. It's too good.
That's when it was good, when it had such big braking zones and stuff.
Tire wheel spin and all this other stuff, and I think it could be fixed. I don't think that necessarily the car is all the problem. Just saying the car in general. I think the car itself, the platform of it is fine. I think you put at least a narrower tire on there. I still think you need to at least go back to a 16-inch wheel instead of the, was it 17 or it's 18 now?
Yeah, it's 18.
18. I think you go back to at least a 16-inch wheel to give it a little more sidewall. But you got to go back a little. You got to drop 2 inches at least across.
Shoot, man,
per axle.
They were blowing tires this week like crazy.
They were, but that's because they're driving. They were, well, Goodyear said that's because they were a little over a second faster than what they tested there once all the cars got on the track. So they came with a softer tire. And it was great, though, because tires were wearing out. I mean, that's what made it a better race, and which was great. I mean, so it can be done, but Goodyear don't want their tires blowing out.
Yeah.
So
well, they got to figure out a way to make them wear, but not cord and rip up all they did.
And that's fine, but I really think you just take away some of the mechanical grip where you've got to be able to over horsepower the tire, and they're not over horsepowering the tire right now. What they're blowing is typically, I mean, there were some right rears, but a lot of them was right fronts because they're just barreling so far down in the corner with it and just wearing the right front tire out. So, but you do that and you figure out whatever you got to do. If you got to go back to a 4-speed, whatever, or do whatever you got to do to get rid of shifting.
Gear, yeah.
Shifting is exclusively for road courses. And you should not be shifting every lap on an oval, ever. So, I know I'm not no engineer by no means, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out.
At least it was a little bit of racing this week, but
yeah,
you hate to go at Martinsville and Bristol and not expect a good race. That's where we're at right now.
You got to hope for a tire to come apart to have a good race.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Richmond and some of those tracks weren't always the greatest, but Martinsville and Bristol have got to be good. Yeah. Races. They've got to be run over each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And they can't get to each other because the aero and the shifting and everything.
Yeah, they see somebody pulling up on them, they just downshift and take off. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, it stinks. So I'm just still not sold on this car. And maybe I'm wrong for that, whatever. But I'm just not sold. So anyway, real quick, Cup race, it was a better race.
The first part and the middle part were pretty good.
It was.
It kind of stretched out at the end, but
it was.
What to say about that?
Well, but that was normal. That was a normal. You look at Richmond. Let's just take Richmond. Back with the old car, or even I can go back in the 90s even, and that was kind of the norm. The first little bit of race, everybody was kind of figuring out their car, and there was wrecks and there was spins and stuff like that. And then by the end of the race, they had it figured out, and it stretched to a long run. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that naturally evolving in the race like that and occurring like that. I don't, that's great. Whatever. So by those standards, this race was better.
Yeah, it was definitely better.
Yeah.
Not great, but better.
Not great.
Much better than...
Leaders were still checking out.
Yeah.
A lot.
At least there was some passing, the restarts were kind of exciting.
Yeah,
they had a couple naturally occurring wrecks, which I mean, I don't want to be a wreck fest, but
no.
You want a couple naturally occurring cautions.
Well, you want the cars hard to drive.
Yeah,
you want every once in a while somebody to spin out because they ran out of talent, as I used to say. Mm-hmm. So that was good. I don't think now if you went in there, and it happened a few times. I saw 3 and 4 wide even a couple times. I don't think the asphalt came into as much of play as they thought it was. Now, if you got outside of that...
Yeah, it was over.
It was over.
Yeah, I wish they could run the old service. I mean, obviously they couldn't, but I think being the old service would put on some pretty good racing for them.
Right.
But obviously you couldn't.
That's right. But they could pass at least down in the new asphalt, which was great. So, I don't know. I'm not mad at the race.
No. I feel like the next year they come back and won't. Well, I guess if they complete the repave, it'll be different.
Well, they've kind of said they don't know if they're going to do it or not.
Well, I don't know.
Like, you got to be cautious.
Well, the first year you're going to get the benefit of the doubt because people aren't going to have as much stuff, so it's going to be a little more coming and going. Next year, when they know a little bit more setup wise what they're going to do,
which they said that track was still not smooth.
Oh yeah,
they said that the pavement that had been put down was just kind of a
I'm sure it's they couldn't even
quick
finish it.
surface. You know, here's this, run on that until we can finish it was kind of the thought process behind it. So I don't know. I feel like that track, because of the progressive banking in it and everything, you've got to finish paving it.
Oh yeah, because it was a pretty high side dominant track.
It was, and I could see, you know, yesterday Larson would have been up on the fence, just ripping that all day long, and that's a track that you used to see, and we run on iRacing. I don't run very often, but every once in a while I run on iRacing, and that's a track you could go in and kind of dive down and quote unquote slide job somebody, the asphalt slide job. If you could get them, just clear them in the corner and just wash up to the wall.
Yeah, I think that would have been a pretty cool race to see if they could have done some of that, because the bottom is still usable, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
obviously it was so tore up they had to repave the bottom.
That's right.
That's where they were.
So anyway, Larson looked like he might have been, you know, cruising to another one.
Him and
for a
Blaney
little
were
while.
going to fight it out there.
They were. And then the craziness happened. I know there was a couple more, but that was probably one of the biggest notable wrecks that happened during the race. Suarez, I don't know. It was really funny because Suarez didn't want to really take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Then it sounded like his crew chief and spotter kind of blamed Suarez for it. I mean, to some extent.
Hey, 3 wide, just got to lose. I mean, that's stuff that you want to see in a race. I mean, they're racing. You know,
I wasn't upset with it. I mean, it was
happens.
just like, hey, that's racing. To me, it just looked like he got loose.
Yeah, you just got loose under him, and they were already 3 wide, so you didn't have any room to save it.
It happens, but it was just really funny because it's like, well, that's what happens when you stick it 3 wide, stuff it in the middle. I'm like, well, you didn't really have much other choice. You got to go on restart.
Yeah.
So, but that pretty much did knock Larson out of it. Pretty much knocked Hamlin out of it. But Hamlin had a terrible day going anyway. And he said, regardless, he was falling back. He had kind of played strategy to get where they were, but it was not going to play out.
Yeah.
They were going to fall back anyway. So I don't know what happened with him.
Missed setup, I guess.
Did you happen to fill out a Denny Hamlin bracket challenge?
No, I didn't do that.
I did.
Should have.
I did.
You're already out.
Oh, I was out almost. Well, one of my drivers was one that I had going to the last round was out the first week. Second one was out last week at Sonoma.
Dang.
So yeah, mine is shot. There's no perfect. After the first week there was no perfect bracket.
Wow.
I was like, man, that's going to be a thing next year in NASCAR that they're doing for, I think, $1 million. I think is what it said.
I think it's cool to give Prime and whoever's got that other TV deal,
Yeah,
TNT,
TNT.
give them something to promote.
Yeah, it is. I think it's gonna be cool. Did you watch the race yesterday? Actually, live?
Yeah, I watched a good part of it live.
What'd you think about the coverage compared to Fox
It's
and
better.
also the coverage without Junior?
Yeah,
And
the booth wasn't as good to me. Fox's commentators are really good, but the production is not. Way too much commercials. Way too. I don't like all the green screen graphic-y stuff.
too much.
It's just too much. I don't.
They try to
it's just
overproduce it, but
commercials
it comes
just
across as
kill it.
cartoony.
Yeah, commercials just it's not very good production, but the commentary I like Mike Joy and Clint and Kevin. I think they're pretty good.
I like Kevin. I like Clint. Don't get me wrong. I like Clint. Clint brings the
Yeah,
comedic side, I guess. But Kevin, being that he just came out the car, he really was insightful.
yeah.
in it.
NBC kind of yells at me sometimes. I feel like.
Yeah.
But
I think
they're-
Burton is a little too
Yeah,
removed
a little too.
now. The tart.
I think Junior was good for it though. I think he added some. I want the call to be exciting.
Oh, yes,
whenever
for
it's exciting.
sure.
If you listen to F1 call, and they'll make you think something's exciting happened when
Well, it's
nothing
really not.
But they're gonna have Lee Diffie in there for part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I like him. That'll be good. I don't know. Production was a lot better. I just feel like it was simpler. The commercials were split screen. To where
Yep.
you can still keep up with the race. And I don't know.
It didn't seem like there was as many commercials.
To me, I think NBC films it in a little bit clearer
It does.
setting.
Well, they don't try to, and Junior told them this while he was there. I do know this for a fact. he said, I know you can get great shots and zoom right in and see the driver's hands. And he said, every once in a while, that's great. He said, but we want to feel like we're sitting in the stands when we're watching this, because you just can't be, but you want to be sitting in the stands. So you don't want to just see one car just look like it's there on the screen because you really don't see it racing.
Yeah.
You want to go back some. You want to see the field running.
Yeah.
See 30 cars out there.
I just like the pre-race shows just 30 minutes before, sitting at the track on pit road.
That's right.
I don't know, just it seems a little bit best, just a better production. I'm excited to see, TNT and Amazon, 'cause I think that'll make some competition. Everybody will try to beef up their production of it to, compete with their competitors. So
I do.
I think it'll be interesting to see.
All right, one thing that happened that was talked about, Fox got 17
IndyCar
races for 2025, and every one of them are going to be on Fox, on the main network, as they like to call it.
Awesome, because IndyCar averages 800,000 viewers maybe compared to NASCAR's 2 to 4 million, and all they want to do is put it on FS1.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to. And I think they said Cup next year has 6.
Nationally broadcast
that are on
Fox.
The main network, and then the rest of theirs are on FS1.
It just don't make. Cup always outdoes IndyCar, and I like IndyCar. Don't get me wrong, but I don't understand why that is that way.
Other
than the Indy 500,
that's what I was fixing to say. Other than the Indy 500, don't get me wrong. They put on some decent racing.
I watch the road course races a lot. They're pretty cool, but
that's what I'm saying.
Viewership is not there for what they get.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why Fox is not trying to. Just like they want the NASCAR because they're coming back for next year with this whole TV contract deal, or for multiple years apparently. But they're kind of getting rid of their NASCAR production. They got rid of
Race Hub.
Yeah, there is no
weekly or
daily
NASCAR.
or even weekly NASCAR show other than the race itself at this point. How can you be you're saying constantly you want to compete with NFL or MLB and be the sport, or NBA, but yet you can't even have a TV show. And my thing is all the rest of them have their own channels.
Oh yeah. I don't even think you have to have that. That's why I almost wish NASCAR would sign over with ABC and ESPN, because I just think that's where a lot of people get. I think they would get a show like that.
I could be fine with that, but my whole thing is now in today's age, everybody streams. Everything. I think I read something somewhere, but the majority of households in the United States anymore stream instead of have standard cable nowadays. I'm one of them. As easy as it is, because I've looked up before, I'm like, what does it take to make a Roku app or a streaming app? Chicken Bone Alley could have their own streaming app. It's not that hard. So I'm like, why can we not have a NASCAR app? A NASCAR streaming.
You could find.
That's what I'm saying, and it put these shows on it.
Get somebody from each network. Kevin Harvick and whoever you want from NBC on there, because it is cool. We should watch Race Hub.
Race Hub, but Flow Racing right now is kind of on top of the game for racing, or Flow Sports, but Flow Racing in general is on top of the game for motorsport streaming right now. Man, I'm like, there's so much talent there. There's so much talent everywhere that could do these shows, that could, shoot, you hear, people come on here like our buddy Terry Radford. He has a great voice for a TV broadcast or radio broadcast or, whatever. And people that just sit and study everything that's going on and keep up with all this. Man, there's so much stuff out there. People want to see I've always been one. Some people might not like it, but the business side of motorsports interests me for whatever reason. I mean, not that I do anything with it. It's just, it's cool to hear about to me. And I guess that's because I know some people in the industry and see how I know their business, and you kind of can relate once you start hearing that business side. And I don't know, there's just so much content that could be created and throughout a week span that I feel like, and NASCAR has their own big production studio now.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say it had to be a daily show like racing was. I mean, maybe do it, Tuesday, so you could have all the stuff,
I think there could be multiple shows,
and just do it, and then do it again Thursday or Friday to get ready for next week.
The way these people are, like Kevin Harvick, and all of Dirty Mo Media right now. The way they're putting out podcasts now, and it's kind of the way we're doing it. I mean, obviously their production is up here, ours is here, but whatever. But the way they're doing it now, it is essentially a weekly show, because they're filming it. They're all on YouTube, or Kevin's was on Fox, or FS1, or on their whatever page. I don't know. So I'm like, man, there's so much content out there that why is this all not just shows that could be on a NASCAR channel, app, whatever. So, but I feel like there's so much stuff out there because just like INEX is pretty much in conjunction with their SMI. So I feel like, they could join in on a NASCAR stuff. You don't necessarily have to, not everything on that channel has to be Cup Series.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. You got ARCA East, ARCA West, the National ARCA, Trucks, Xfinity, Cup.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to talk about.
Dude, that's easy 5 days worth of stuff right there. And granted, some of us got, I don't know. So, whatever, I can complain about it forever.
So I see this meme. This is like IndyCar would coming to 4 to go, and it goes to commercial. And I know Fox has it.
That's what's going to happen.
The Daytona 500 was brutal,
dude. It was terrible.
They didn't run 5 laps.
No, it was terrible.
Terrible.
I don't know what they're thinking.
I think the stuff, the videos I've seen said they overpaid for the TV contracts, so they just started
piling
selling commercials to make up for it.
And maybe so. Maybe that's why they had to drop down their number of races.
Yeah. Whatever you got to do to make a better production. I mean, you look at F1 doesn't have commercials at all, and I'm fine with a couple, full screen commercials, but
what bothers me, and I don't know why this bothers me. I guess you got to get sponsors where you get sponsors, but it's so funny when you and I know everybody, they're not necessarily looking at it, but it's like there's some commercials that come on during a race that are so far removed from racing. It's like something that nobody watching this would ever use.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Why is this here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well. So, anyway, Blaney finally picked up his win.
Yep.
At Iowa. Figured it was coming for quite a while.
He's had good speed.
He's had really good speed. Penske's kind of turned it on after Ford's couldn't do anything first part of the year. Once Joey went and tested, obviously forever at North Wilkesboro, won the All-Star race, I think I'd be willing to say, especially a track like that, there's probably something that, played a factor in that they, figured out from that stuff, just rolled over in these other races, apparently, because all of Penske has been fast since that. So, Austin Cindric got a win now. Blaney's got a win. Joey got to get him a win, and I think he could have been up there at Sonoma. I don't know if he's that. He put down a lap and got pole, but I don't know if he's that great of a road course racer. But he could have been up there had he not gotten in the wreck. But anyway, I think Penske's coming on. But I thought Hendrick was actually having a pretty good day. For the most part, till whatever all happened. William Byron looked super fast there at the end. He looked fast in the middle. got back a little bit. Had to work his way around. If he could have started up a little better that last restart, I think, even though it was a long run, I think it just put him behind there to begin with. So I don't know. So anyway, where we headed next?
I think New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. I don't care what car you're in. That's a boring race to me. It's kind of like Pocono.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't know. There's something about that track. I guess it's just so flat.
Yeah.
Especially with the shifting now.
Oh yeah.
It just makes it rough. So we'll see. We'll see. What else we got?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Had a lot of racing this week, but this week might not be as busy for us.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. But I do want to go ahead real quick here. Y'all go check out our good friend, Skylar Whitfield. He's playing somewhere near you on the 18th of June, Brunswick Plantation there in Calabash, North Carolina. 19th, he will be at Nacho Hippo, North Myrtle Beach. The 20th, Murphy's on the Ocean, North Myrtle Beach. 21st, Holiday Inn Resort, Surfside, there in Surfside Beach, South Carolina. 22nd, Bar 1912, North Myrtle Beach. And 23rd, Marina Bar there in North Myrtle Beach. So if you're anywhere in the area, be sure to go check out our good friend Skylar Whitfield. Check out the tunes he will be playing. He sang the national anthem last week.
Bowman Gray.
At Bowman Gray.
Yeah, it's cool.
His home track. So that was cool to see. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Go check out our good buddy Skylar Whitfield for sure. Also want to thank our good friends over at Fresh Chef. Fresh Chef, ladies and gentlemen, if you were in the Race City area for sure, go check them out. Some of the best food you will find, best specials, best drinks, everything. Just good food, hands down. Also, our good friends at MPM Marketing, www.marketwithmpm.com. You got to, if you want to come up in this world of racing and make it, you got to have a good marketing partner. And who better than McAllister Precision Marketing? Tanya knows her stuff for sure, so go check her out. She'll get you headed in the right direction. Also, Dixie Made, right here in Florence, South Carolina, right here by the flea market. Come out to a race anytime this year for sure. Go check out Dixie Made. You will not be disappointed. They got all the brands that everybody wants for sure, but not just clothing wise. They got anything from sunglasses. There's coolers in there. There's all kind of accessories. So go check out Dixie Made. They got everything you're looking for sure. Also, our good friends at Rev Max Racing Apparel. Fire suits for sure. If you guys in karting looking for a fire suit, custom made fire suits, go check out Rev Max Racing. They got your single layer suits. Also, guys in big cars where we need SFI multi-layer suits. They got everything you need there. So go check them out. Great design work by Taylor. She does great work. Connor,
I'm going down there tomorrow to get it.
Oh, you going tomorrow to get it?
Yep.
Sweet. Ready to see it.
Yep, me too.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
So we'll be getting some pictures of Connors here soon. Y'all go check them out if you're in the market. So anyway, like I said, Florence Motor Speedway is racing this Saturday. Probably be another hot one for the summertime in South Carolina. So that's what we might as well be ready for. I ain't gonna race. I might as well just pull the trailer out of there so we have some air conditioning. Anyway, guys. Well, what else you got going on, Connor?
Not much. I guess we'll go watch a little bit of basketball here.
Some basketball.
Yep, the finals going on tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
Who's playing?
I never. Boston and Dallas.
Who you think?
Well, Boston's up 3-1 already.
Oh,
yeah. They almost swept them.
We'll go with Boston.
Yeah,
then.
they're looking pretty good. So we'll see if they can finish it off tonight.
I've thought about something.
I was kind of pulling for Dallas, but oh well.
I
don't care that much about it. I watched a little bit of it.
I can watch it if it's good game.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching some WNBA the other day.
Oh, really?
And they were both just
I
they were
watch
both
that.
well, they were both just bad enough that it was a good game. It was a very close bad game.
I can't watch it. I don't watch that.
It just happened to be on, and I think it was Sunday. We was over here turning through channels, and it just got stopped on it for a minute. And I was like, "Wow, they're both just terrible enough. This is a great game." So, anyway, but I thought about something, and we got to figure out something. We're coming up to last half of seasons, pretty much all our local tracks here. I like the way the Denny Hammett Bracket Challenge is working. I figured out how they do it, figured out the apps they use, all that stuff. We got to do our own.
Should.
We got to figure out a bracket to come up with.
Yeah.
Who, where, how. We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
I want to do one.
Let's do it.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah. I think it'd garner some support. I think it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be fun and everything.
So if anybody got any ideas, y'all let us know. Never know. They you never know what's going to happen there. So anyway, so I reckon that's about it this week. So appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. Appreciate all our support on here, and y'all go to your local racetrack. I do want to say real quick, our good friend Butterbean got him a win at Dominion there in the Cars Tour.
Win.
Green to checker.
Nice.
Pretty exciting race. I didn't get to watch it because we were racing, but I watched the highlights on Flow Racing, and first lap was pretty exciting.
Watch it.
But other than that, he kind of checked out on the field. I know Keelan Harvick won up there.
Saw some highlights from that.
Yeah. So, anyway, guys. Also, congratulations, Butterbean, getting a ride back in the truck at Nashville and was it Kansas?
Really?
I think it's a big track.
Cool.
I know it's Nashville, but I want to say Kansas, something like that. So, 2 more opportunities for him to shine there. So, congratulations to him for sure. We'll have to talk to him some more on that when that gets closer. But anyway, we appreciate all y'all, and y'all head out to a track this weekend, and we'll be talking with you later.
Later.